Breaking, Venezuela targeted the wrong U.S. carrier twice and nearly crossed a fatal line.
At 4:19 a.m., the Caribbean looks calm. No ships collide, no planes scream overhead. But 300 miles off the Venezuelan coast, inside a dark steel hull, a decision is already in motion. Valves open. Seawater slams into torpedo tubes. Pressure spikes. A countdown begins. The submarine is moving 4 knots, steady and quiet, pointed straight north. On the scope, one name fills the screen: USS Gerald R. The Venezuelan captain believes this is leverage, a warning, a political signal sent from beneath the sea. Instead of turning away, he lines up the shot. Distance shrinks, margin disappears. Inside the boat, 64 sailors follow orders, unaware that this moment did not start tonight. It started days ago. Because while this submarine thinks it is hunting, it is already exposed. Far beyond the visible horizon, acoustic systems lock in, contact symbols sharpen, tracking is confirmed. No shouting, no chaos. Just quiet certainty spreading through command rooms that never appear on camera. This is not a patrol mistake. This is a risky challenge from a navy with little left to lose. The captain sees one ship. He does not see the underwater wall around it. He does not know the clock is already against him. And he has no idea how close this move comes to ending everything inside that hull. If you want to see how modern naval power answers a mistake like this, subscribe now, because what happens next is silent, fast, and unforgiving. This moment matters because it is not happening in empty water. The Caribbean is one of the most watched seas on Earth. Beneath the waves, long before any ship appears on the horizon, sound tells the story. Engines, propellers, pressure changes. Nothing large moves here without being noticed. For Venezuela, this stretch of ocean is more than geography. It is the last place where the country can still project power without crossing a border. A submarine does not need permission. It does not raise flags. It only needs silence. That illusion of silence is what makes this move so dangerous. The boat involved is old. Its systems are tired. Its crew trains with limits most modern navies would not accept. But that does not make the situation safer. It makes it more unstable. When a force knows it cannot win a long fight, it looks for short moments of shock. One sudden action. One risky signal. Something that forces the other side to react. For the sailors inside that submarine, this is not about strategy papers or political speeches. It is about trust. Trust that the equipment will hold. Trust that orders make sense. Trust that someone above them has calculated the risks. 64 people are sealed inside steel, breathing recycled air, knowing that once a command is given, there is no pause button. On the other side, the United States does not see this as a single vessel. It sees a pattern, a test, a pressure probe aimed at USS Gerald R. one of the most protected ships ever built. If this challenge is ignored, it invites more. If it is overreacted to, it creates headlines neither side can control. That balance is the real danger. One nervous move can turn a message into a disaster. One misread signal can pull 2 nations closer to a line neither plan to cross. So here's the question at the heart of this standoff. Is this a desperate gamble from a cornered navy, or a calculated push to see how far the United States will go without firing first? If you think the United States should show strength immediately, comment 1. If you think restraint is the smarter move here, comment 9. And make sure you're subscribed, because the first response is already unfolding beneath the surface. The first response does not begin with weapons. It begins with sound. On a sonar screen far from the submarine, a thin line tightens into a clear shape. The operator leans closer. The noise is steady, mechanical, human-made. A quiet confirmation follows. This is not background traffic. There are people inside that hull. Timestamps lock in. Speed reads 4 knots. Depth is shallow enough to track cleanly. The contact is moving north, straight toward the carrier's outer defense zone. A technician calls it out once, then again. Each call sharpens the picture. This is no longer a question. Across the area, systems sync. Data flows without voices being raised. A Virginia-class submarine already ahead of the carrier adjusts course by a few degrees. Not to chase, to listen better. A destroyer changes speed slightly to keep its towed sonar stable. High above, a P-8 Poseidon releases a pattern of sonobuoys. They hit the water one by one, spreading like a net. Inside the Venezuelan submarine, nothing feels different. The crew hears only their own systems, pumps, fans, the low hum of movement. The captain checks the clock. The firing sequence is not active yet, but preparation has begun. This is the window where choices still exist. In an American command space, a calm voice states the range. Another confirms classification. No one rushes. No one celebrates. This is routine, and that is what makes it dangerous. The contact has been watched long enough to know its limits. Fuel, speed, turning radius, even how loud it gets when valves open. A single note appears on the screen. If the torpedo tube door opens, the sound will spike. It always does. That spike will travel fast, faster than any order shouted inside a steel hull. The question now is not whether the submarine can be stopped, it is how much needs to be shown to stop it. The carrier at the center of this remains unseen, steady on course, guarded by layers the submarine cannot sense. To the Venezuelan crew, the sea still feels empty. To the United States, the picture is complete. And in the quiet seconds before the next move, everyone involved understands the same truth. Once the first unmistakable sound is made, there is no taking it back. Pressure builds without noise. That is how modern naval escalation works. As the submarine keeps its course, the defensive rings around the carrier begin to tighten. Not suddenly, not aggressively, just enough to remove options. A destroyer eases into position to steady its sonar. Another adjusts speed to keep spacing clean. Above the clouds, the patrol aircraft widens its pattern, filling gaps with fresh sensors. Each move is small. Together, they close the map. Inside a Virginia-class submarine, the tracking solution sharpens. The contact's rhythm is familiar now. Every pump cycle, every trim adjustment, even the slight wobble when the boat corrects course. The math is simple. If the target accelerates, it will get louder. If it turns, it will expose itself. If it opens a tube, the sound will travel instantly. In close underwater encounters, angles matter. A 5-degree change can decide who hears first. A 10-second delay can decide who survives. On the Venezuelan boat, the crew feels the strain. Old systems need constant attention. Gauges are watched longer than usual. A valve sticks for a moment, then clears. No one says anything, but everyone notices. Fatigue builds quietly when you know you are far from help. Range continues to drop. The submarine is nearing the outer edge of the carrier's protective bubble. This is the line planners warn about, the place where caution should win. Instead of turning away, the course holds. That choice adds weight to every second that follows. On American screens, the assessment updates. This is no accident. This is a probe. A test to see how close is too close. Whether the USS Gerald R will react or absorb the pressure and wait. No alarms blare. No orders are shouted. That calm is intentional. The goal is control, not chaos. Show presence without triggering panic. Keep the upper hand without forcing the next move. The ocean itself seems to pause. No sound but distant machinery and the steady beat of propellers. This is the moment where escalation can tip in either direction. If you think the United States should tighten the net and force the submarine to surface now, press 1. If you think holding back is smarter and lets the pressure do the work, press 9 and make sure you're subscribed, because the next move will decide everything. The turn does not come with an explosion. It comes with a sound. Without warning, a single active sonar pulse cuts through the water. Short, controlled, impossible to ignore. The signal slams into the Venezuelan submarine's hull and returns just as clean. This is not background noise. This is not an accident. This is a message. Inside the boat, heads snap up. Screens flood with echoes. The captain knows instantly what it means. Someone is behind them. Close, much closer than expected. Close enough that escape is no longer a plan, only a hope. The American submarine does not move. It does not accelerate. It does not prepare to fire. It simply holds position, letting the silence after the ping do the work. That silence is heavier than any weapon. This is the moment everything changes. The Venezuelan crew understands the truth all at once. They have been tracked longer than they believed, boxed in tighter than they imagined. This is not an attack. It is proof of control. If they fire now, retaliation will arrive before any impact can be confirmed. Old systems hum. A valve rattles, then steadies. No one speaks. Everyone waits for an order that does not come. The expected response was force. Instead, they are given certainty. On the American side, the assessment is clear. The signal was received. The warning was understood. There is no need to escalate unless the next move comes from the other hull. For the first time since leaving port, the Venezuelan submarine is no longer hunting. It is being held in place by knowledge alone, not fear, not firepower, awareness. And every person in that steel tube knows the pause will end the moment someone makes the wrong choice. The climax arrives without movement. For several long seconds, nothing changes. The sea holds its breath. Inside the Venezuelan submarine, every sound feels louder than it should. Fans push recycled air through narrow spaces. A control light flickers, then steadies. Hands hover over switches but do not touch them. The captain looks at the clock. He knows what comes next if he continues. Opening the torpedo tube will not be silent. The pressure shift alone will announce intent. The sound will race outward faster than any order he can give. By the time a weapon clears the tube, the response will already be on its way back. Behind the submarine, unseen and unmoving, the American boat waits. Firing solutions are complete. Distances are measured. Angles are locked. No one is rushing. This is not a chase. It is a position of certainty. Far above, the carrier at the center of all this keeps steady speed. USS Gerald R does not turn. It does not signal. Its power is not in motion, but in the confidence that it does not need to move at all. A short transmission passes through the American command chain. Clear, simple. Hold. 3 seconds pass, then 5, then 10. Inside the Venezuelan boat, the reality settles in. This is the last clean moment to stop. No heroics, no headlines, just a choice between survival and sacrifice. The crew understands it before the order is spoken. If they push forward, this steel tube becomes a closed ending. If they stop, they live with the weight of what almost happened. The captain exhales. The firing sequence is not completed. The boat holds depth. Speed drops slightly. It is a small change, but on American screens, it means everything. The climax does not end with fire. It ends with restraint. That decision locks the outcome, not because the threat was weak, but because the response was overwhelming without being violent. This is how modern naval power wins, by making the final move unnecessary. If you think this show of restraint made the United States stronger, press 1. If you think force should have been used to send a harder message, press 9. And make sure you're subscribed, because the aftermath of this choice will reach far beyond this one encounter. The aftermath is quiet, but the impact is not. Hours later, the Venezuelan submarine changes course and slowly pulls away. It does not rush back to port. It moves carefully, aware now that every mile is still being watched. When it eventually surfaces, there are no celebrations, no statements, no images released. Silence becomes the official response. The USS Gerald R continues its mission without deviation. Aircraft launch and recover as planned. Escorts maintain formation. To the outside world, nothing appears to have changed. That is exactly the point. Inside Naval Command circles, the message is understood. This encounter was not about sinking ships. It was about drawing a boundary without crossing it. The United States demonstrated that it could see the threat early, surround it completely, and end it without firing a single weapon. For Venezuela, the lesson is harder. A move meant to project strength instead exposed limits. An aging submarine, a tired crew, and a risky order came face to face with a system designed to detect pressure before it turns into violence. For every other Navy watching quietly, the signal is clear. Modern naval power is no longer measured by who shoots first, but by who controls the moment before a shot is fired. This incident will never be listed as a battle. There will be no medals for it, but it will be studied, because it shows how conflicts are stopped now, not with explosions, but with certainty. And beneath the surface, that certainty is always there, waiting.